let's do just a little bit more Cyberworld before we come up to the finale of Toycember, because I basically know what the last 7 days are going to be. So until we get there, let us discuss just a little bit more of this simple and yet, fun fidget toy line that Cyberworld has turned out to be. And we're going to be discussing Galvatron, one of the more expensive because he comes with a big thing that the box calls armor, but is actually just a gigantic weapon on top of a very standard cyber changer figure. But as you can see, this is going to be an exceptionally different Galvatron than you are used to. This one was the one that had our heads scratching the most, because whereas most characters in Cyberworld seem to be respecting the original designs to an extent, here comes Galvatron out of nowhere just doing whatever he wants to do. So we're going to see exactly what it is. So for starters, let's get this off of him, because it's doing something to his dragon mode. Like maybe you can chalk this up as like a set of big flame wings or the gun coming out. But like for the most part, it's a silly addition to that particular mode. But we can take a look at him. He is a purple and gray dragon. We have not seen Galvatron as a dragon since Beast Wars 2nd, and he certainly didn't look like this. But he is doing the standards Cyberworld Beast former thing, where his legs have just been folded up to create very thick rear legs, and his arms are just kind of pointed down to create the front legs. The downside here is that he is not doing a very good job of hiding that fact, as the fist holes are very clearly there, his hands are very clearly there. So it's a rough bit of transformation, to say the least. I'm also going to say, like, his shoulder designs really, really lean toward the robot mode's look, meaning that really they don't fit in. Like, the design doesn't flow. For a dragon, especially one that's winged and you could actually, you're supposed to see it fly, having big squares in the front does not make a whole lot of sense to me. But beyond that, let's see what we got here. We do have a little bit of paint here in the back, some gunmetal for the feet, makes them stand out a little bit different, and just gives this weird, I don't know, panel back look in the beast mode. It's a funky design. You do have a little tail sticking out. Yeah, there's a little tail. The dragon head is fine. The sculpt of the dragon head actually kind of reminds me of Cybertron's Scourge in a weird way. And then you have the wing pack, which we discussed. There is a 5mm port there, as there are 5mm ports on the sides here, if you do want to arm up this toy a little bit. I am thrown off by the fact that they are jet wings. That's a little bit odd of a choice. Like, mechanical dragon wings would have been acceptable here, but okay, you do you. It's a weird Galvatron, so I guess we're just not going to follow any of the norms for a dragon mode, but we'll just roll with it, I guess. Let's go ahead and transform him. You see the play value you get here, which is basically none. His arms are actually pinned into the side to get them in the right spot for beast mode, meaning he has no articulation. Most of your play value comes out of this weapon, which we'll take a look at in the robot mode. So for this, yeah, it's basically what you expect from a Cyberworld toy. Let me go ahead and open up the legs. That lets me take the tail off. Come on. There we go. Very tight socket there. Flip those down. The dragon head is on an automorph thing that's on a very small hair trigger, so don't be surprised if that doesn't pop and try to transform midway through transformation. But yeah, do the accordion thing to bring the entire torso down. That's basically your entire transformation. There is your Galvatron, or what passes for Galvatron in a modern-day Transformer, or at least for this new toy line for children. Strictly for little children, I should say. Color balance-wise, like, yes, there's Galvatron notes there with the purples and the grays. The big gray legs are still a thing. That's about it. That's about it. The head sculpt is also really funky. It's the visor, the horns on the sides and the crest up front, and a mustache that is intentionally painted darker than the rest of the face to make it pop. This is weird. In every regard, this should be a different character. In every regard, this should be someone completely different. But because it feels very name dump. It feels like we're back in the age of like the Unicron trilogy where random characters would get vintage names just for the sake of keeping aside a trademark that they haven't been able to use in a while. Why on earth are you calling a crane Smokescreen? What makes him a Smokescreen creator of any way, shape, or form? It feels like that. It's that energy. So there's a little bit of weird nostalgia for it, but at the same time, this is a really weird looking Galvatron. I really think I would have preferred him to have a new name, especially because I'm now technically getting what I have always asked for, which is a Galvatron and a Megatron, see the wrong Megatron, in the same show at the same time to do whatever story aspects you could do from that. But it's not the right Galvatron, is it? Okay, so color-wise, he's fine. You can see a little bit more paint on the front of his shins, make them stand out a little bit better. The silver and the Decepticon emblem here and the chest now work. So that makes for a nice little bit of design. But beyond that, he is what he is. His head looks a little bit big for his body. His head just looks a little bit big for what he's supposed to be going for. If we look at articulation, that's basically the same as it always is in toys like this for Cyberworld. So you got a ball joint that's on the shoulders. You got nothing at the waist, nothing at the head. It's a 6-point articulation figure with ball joints in the hips and the shoulders, and then a really deep knee bend because that's part of the transformation. Now, don't get me wrong. As a little kid's toy, that's fine. I find kids get bored by these types of toys really quickly, though. So, this isn't as engaging or stimulating as it should be. It's just super simple and super easy to get out because we're covering for a canceled toy line. He does have the tail, which we can put back in his, we can put in his hand now and give him a tail weapon because, Galvatron always has a tail weapon. Yeah. And it's one of those weird tail weapons that just doesn't really look like anything. It's not thin or long enough to be a whip. It's not big enough on the end to be a club. It's not spiky enough to be a sword. He's just holding a tail. I don't know what else to tell you. But then we got this. We do have his weapon, which is a pretty simple one at that. So you have the barrel that points forward in this mode, and then when you pull the lever back, the two gigantic barrels come forward, and they have the big flame effects that spit out. So this is actually neat. It's a neat little action effect. You want to do something else with the flames when they are not on this, but then again, you want the flames attached for that effect to work. So I don't know what to tell you here. They're neat, if not a little bit weird, since they are firing off in two directions at once. It seems like a little bit slipshod. If you want, these are on 5mm pegs. So you can take them off and just have this really gigantic double barrel blaster for your Galvatron, if that's a thing you would like to do. If you want to forearm mount it, he does still have the ports on the forearms. As far as these, on him himself, there's nothing else you can really do with them. As effect parts on other toys, you could probably get some use out of them, but I don't know. Here, they're just left a little bit useless. So just plug them back into the barrels, I guess, and just enjoy your big blasts. I don't know. So there you go. That's your Galvatron. So I've been Bumblebee was on average, and Optimus Prime pulling this gimmick off was, that felt actually a lot more fun and engaging. It felt like there was more I could do with the Prime. This one is just kind of there. I feel like they added this big weapon to Galvatron with no real thought or intention behind it, mostly just to give the $15 size class a little bit more as far as, Decepticons and big characters go. But for me, it's not that great. This really needed a few rethoughts, more than one here. I don't know. It's a middling figure and not nearly as impressive as some of the others in this size range. But that's what I got for you for Toycember today. Avoid the Galvatron. It's not really that great. But tomorrow, maybe I will have a great toy for you. You'll have to tune in and find out.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.